Good morning, students. I am your commerce teacher. I hope you are all fine at home. In previous class, we have revised the 2 marks and 3 marks in first lesson. Today, we are going to see about the 5 marks in first lessons. The first question is about the various hindrances removed by the business. That is, the question is, what are the hindrances of business? Okay, here the business consists of all industries and commerce. Okay, business is nothing but it includes industries as well as commerce activities. The various hindrances removed by business are hindrance of place, hindrance of persons, hindrance of times, hindrance of risk of loss, hindrance of risk of deterioration in quality, hindrance of knowledge, and hindrance of exchange, hindrance of finance. Okay, these are the 8 categories of hindrances faced by the business in commerce. Okay, so here they said about the hindrances. We will see one by one. The first hindrance is about hindrance of business. So here they said about hindrance of persons. Manufacturer do not know the place and the face of the consumer. That is, so for example, if you have book you are purchasing, means you don't know who is the person who is manufacturing it. That is, the consumer does not know the manufacturer, as well as the manufacturers don't know about the consumer who is purchasing it. So here the retailer and the wholesaler, sometimes we say it as a middleman, chain of middleman, worked as a hindrance of person. That is, removing the hindrance of persons in order to get the goods at the correct time. Okay, so the chain of middlemen consisting of wholesaler, agents and retailers establish the link between the producer and the consumer. Okay, next we are going to see about the hindrance of place. The production takes place in one place. That is, for example, if the book is produced in Delhi, means it is consumed all over India or all over the countries or all over the world. Okay, so in such a case, the goods are transported from one place to another place using the transportations. Okay, here transportation removes the hindrance of place. Okay, here we are using rail, air, sea and land transport to bring the product to the place of the consumer. Next one is about hindrance of time, how it is removed. Okay, hindrance of time is means here goods are produced and stored in warehouses, because if we want the goods in rainy season, we are need of a raincoat, umbrella, all those things, but it is produced throughout the year. Okay, these goods are stored in warehouse in different regional centers, and the goods are used by the consumer during the rainy season. Okay, that is, whenever the consumer needed that correct time, that goods are reached the consumer by using these warehouse in different regional center. So warehouse plays a, that is, it plays an important role in removal of hindrance of time. Okay, so in order to distribute the goods at the right time to the consumer, we need warehouse facilities. The hindrance of risk of deterioration in quality. That is, if the packing is not good, in such a case it affects the quality of the product. So proper packing and air conditioner storage help the businessmen to remove the hindrance of risk of deterioration in quality. Okay, then hindrance of risk of loss. Here they said about the fire, theft, flood and accidents may bring huge loss to the businessman. In such a case, insurance company help the businessmen to recover these loss by way of insuring those goods against fire, theft and floods. Then hindrance of knowledge. Hindrance of knowledge means, here they said about the advertising and communication, which help the person to know about the arrival of the new product as well as how to use that product. Okay, that is the knowledge about that product. All those things we are getting through advertising and communication. These help the businessmen to remove the hindrance of knowledges. Then hindrance of exchange. In terms of exchange is money function as a medium of exchange here. That is, we are using money in order to purchase any goods. Okay, in olden days barter system is used. In barter system goods are exchanged for goods, but after the invention of money is served as a medium of exchange. Then we are going to see about the hindrance of finance. So in order to produce more goods at a right time without any stoppage in production, the businessman need finance. So he is getting that finance from the bank and the insurance bank as well as the financial institutions. So here the banks and the financial institutions serves as a important person in order to remove the hindrance of finance. So next we are going to see about briefly explain the coastal trade in Asian Tamil Nadu. So in last week itself we see about these questions. Here they said about the big cities of Mumbughar, that is here the two cities are there. One is Marurupakam and Pattinapakam. Marurupakam is used as an inland town and Pattinapakam is used as coastal town. In these towns many bazaars and markets which help the traders to exchange their goods, that is selling or buying of different kinds of commodities. Then port towns, here they said about some ports. Tondi, Kurkai, Puhar and Muziri are the important busy ports which is used during for import as well as export during that time. Then people in coastal regions were engaged in different kinds of fishing, pearl and produce salt. These are the occupation of the people in coastal regions. Then next we are going to see about the development of commerce and trade in North India. So in 12th to 16th century, India was prosperous in trade. Okay, Balban is a person who paved the way in the dense forest, and Alauddin Khilji who helped the people to import foreign goods, and Arab were the dominant players in encouraging Indian traders like Tamils and Gujaratis. After that they said about the Sultan period, trade was flourished. Here they are using the currencies like silver and copper. Then Indian handicraft product commanded by the foreign market. Then imports, India imports horses, dry fruits, precious stones, all those things. But at the same time, India products were exported to East Africa, Malaysia, China and East Forest. The traders of Malabar and Gujarat and foreign settlers in the ports of Calicut, Gumghat and Mangalore controlled a major business sector in port cities. Then next we are going to see about what do you know about the overseas trading partners of Asian Tamil Nadu. So Pandya, here they said about Pandya, Cholas and Choras. Chola has a strong relationship with the Chinese. During 16th to 18th century, India overseas trade expanded European companies, and they said about Vasco da Gama, who is a person discovered the Cape of Good Hope. They used that sea routes from Europe to India, and they said about the British rules. During the British time, East India Company led the establishment and expansion of foreign trade all over Asia. Then state the constraints in barter systems. Constraints in barter system engages, that is barter system is nothing but goods are exchanged for goods before the invention of money. Here barter system has some limitations, that is lack of double coincidence of wants, non-existence of common measures of value, lack of direct contact between the producer and the consumer, and lack of surplus stocks. Okay students, now we revise the first lessons. So we are going to see about the second lesson. Already we revised about the 2 marks, 3 marks as well as 5 marks. So we finished our revision. Now we are going to see about the second lesson in unit 1. That is unit 1 is about fundamentals of business. In this lesson we are going to see about objectives of business. Okay. So in objectives of business is nothing but why the businessman is doing the business, what is the need of it, okay, what are the objectives he is going through in his business. So all those things are covered here. Before going to the objectives of business, here they said about the economic activities as well as non-economic activities. Okay, so they said about business, profession, all those things. Okay, so before going to the objectives of the business, we are going to see the meaning of the human activities, economic activities, non-economic activities, types of economic activities, that is the about employment, profession and business, definitions and characteristics of business, analyze the objectives of business, illustrate the comparison of business, profession and employment. So these are the things we are going to see in these chapters. Okay, to enable the students to know that is here they said about the first about is human activities. Okay, human activities is nothing but it is a activities performed by human to meet his needs and wants or maybe for personal satisfactions. So what are the activities done by the human in order to satisfy his needs is known as human activities. Here the chart below gives a detailed information about the activities. Okay, so human activities is defined into economics activities and non-economic activities. So what are the things comes under economics activities and what is the meaning of economic activities? Economics activities undertaken with the object of earning money, that is in order to earn money. What are the activities are carried out in order to earn money are called as economic activities. For example, here some examples are given there. Production of goods by the manufacturer. If the manufacturer producing goods means he is producing that goods in order to sell it to the market to get profit. Okay, the distribution of goods by the wholesaler, he is also getting some profit in by way of distributing the goods, selling by the retailer. So all those things, medical advice rendered by the physician, that is the doctor. Okay, doctor fees and then auditor fees, then engineer fees, all those things comes under economic activities because these activities are carried out in order to earn some money. Okay, so if the activities are undertaken in order to earn money, then it is called economic activities. Okay, at the same time you have a doubt about what's meant by non-economic activities. Okay, non-economic activities is nothing but it is undertaken to satisfy social and psychological needs are called non-economic activities. So if you see this following example, it is easy for you to understand what is those social and psychological needs. Cooking food for family. Your mummy is cooking food for your family. Whether she is earning any money, whether she is doing that activities in order to earn money, no. Okay, here she gets some satisfaction, that is that satisfaction may be in social or psychological needs in order to satisfy the social or psychological need. Then celebrating festival, we are celebrating festival, all those activities are done in order to get some social and psychological benefit. Okay, so this is about non-economic activities. So economic activities is done in order to earn money, whereas non-economic activities is done in order to get social, to satisfy social and psychological needs. Here watching movies in theater, doing meditation, all those things comes under non-economic activities. Before going to types of economic activities, we are going to see about the difference between the economic and non-economic activities. Okay, so here they said from the definition. This is a 5-mark questions. Okay, but for your monthly test, only one chapter, one lessons, first lesson only for your monthly test. So because we finished our revision, we are going to see the second lesson here. Here this question comes for the next monthly test. Economic activities or non-economic activities. It is an important question. It may come for your quarterly, halfly or anything because it is most important one. Definition: economic activities are those activities which are undertaken to earn money. The same definition here also given. They said about some example, that is a fruit seller selling fruits. Okay, likewise non-economic activities are those activities which are undertaken for the sake of pleasure, that is he is getting some pleasure performed out of love. So for example, mother cook for your family. Then motive, the main motive is to earn money. Okay, so in economic activities the main motive is to earn money or to get some financial gains. Here working as a lawyer. Okay, lawyer is getting some fee from the customer. Okay, here non-economic activities undertaken for satisfaction of social and psychological or emotional needs, that is visit to temple, you are going to a temple, you are get some satisfaction. Okay, so that psychological feeling implies the non-economic activities. Then money measurements, we can measure the value of the money, that is the value of the goods by way of money terms. Okay, here doctor charge 500 as consultation fees. Here the doctor fee is 500, we can measure it. Okay, but we cannot measure the value of non-economic activities because these activities are done in order to satisfy the psychological and social needs. Example, NGO distributes free clothes to the poor children. So for poor children they are distributing clothes, we cannot measure it how much it is. Okay, then relationship in economic activities are related to creation of wealth. Here they are creating some wealth, they are getting some wealth, for example 500 rupees, but here there is no creation of wealth. Money received as a donation is spent on charity work is an example for non-economic activities. Then outcome, all economic activities result in production. If it is economic activities means it may be some production or procurement or distribution and consumption of goods and services. Goods and services here refers to the services of a doctor, services of an engineer, lawyer, all those things comes under services. Okay, services of a teacher also. The example for this is Nokia produces cell phone and sells across India. Okay, they are getting some amount by way of selling that goods. The end result of non-economic activity is mental and emotional or psychological satisfaction. Sona enjoyed teaching orphans in an orphanage. For example, in an orphanage she is teaching some students, means she is not getting any fee for that. Okay, she is getting some emotional or psychological satisfaction by way of teaching orphans in the orphanage. Okay, duration, so economic activities are repetitive one. Okay, if he produce 100 goods means again he is produced in order to sell next 100 goods. But in non-economic activities may not be repetitive because sometimes we are going to orphanage to give some food or cloth something. Okay, Shankar visit orphanage in his free time. Okay, we are use our pleasure time in order to go there. Okay, non-economic activities may not be undertaken regularly, but economic activities are repetitive in manner. Here Gulfi ice cream seller sells ice cream every evening. Then source of initiation, economic activities are initiated to satisfy human needs and wants, whereas non-economic activities initiated to satisfy emotional or sentimental pleasures, that is they are getting some sentimental pleasures. So these are the difference between economic and non-economic activities. Next we are going to see about the type of economic activities. Types of economic activities, here they said about three things. One is employment, profession and business. Okay, so first we are going to see what is the meaning of employment here. Employment refers to the occupation in which people work for others and getting some remuneration for their in the form of wages or salary. That is, if any person working under a person and getting some salary or wages, then he is called as employee, and the person who employs him is called as a employer. So here manager, clerk, bank official, factory workers all comes under the categories of employees. Okay, so this is the employment. What is the meaning of employment and who is the employer and who is the employee. Then characteristics. There is here, then we are going to see about the characteristics of employment. Here they said about the characteristics of employment. There is a contract existing between the employer and the employee. That is, the employer gives some task to the employee. For doing that work, the employee getting some remuneration. So an employee must abide the rules and regulation of the organization. Okay, so this is the characteristics of employment. Next we are going to see about the profession. Okay, so employment, profession and business. So these are the three things. The next one is about profession. Professions are those occupations which involve rendering of personal services of a special and expert in nature. That is, for example, doctor. Doctor is a profession. Okay, so in his profession he is rendering some personal services. It includes professional activities which are subject to guidelines or codes of conduct laid down by the professional bodies. So those engaged in a profession are called as professional, and they are getting income by charging some professional fee. That is doctor's fees and for example engineer's fees, audit fees are comes under the categories of professions. Then next is the characters. There should be a systematic body of knowledge. That is, the professionalist must have some professional knowledge in their field. Okay. Then there should be formal acquisition of knowledge by the members. That is, in order to get that knowledge, they are getting that knowledge by formal acquisition. That is, they must finish some degrees. Okay. Then we are going to see about the business. What is the meaning of business? Business may be defined as activity involving regular production. That is, here the production or purchase of goods and services for sale and transfer and exchange of with the object of earning profit. So here next they said that business is the first main objective is the main objectives of business is to earn profit. Okay, here they are producing some goods, and as well as purchase and sales are takes place. Okay, so in this definition they said that they are producing some goods and purchase of goods and services for sale, transfer and exchange with the objective of earning profit. The main aim is here earning profit. So many definitions are given. According to James Stephenson, business refers to economic activities. Business is nothing but it includes economic activities performed for earning profit. Only economic activities are done in order to earn profit. That is, it is money motive. Okay, whereas non-economic activities are done in order to get some pleasure. Okay, therefore business includes economic activities. It doesn't include about non-economic activities. Then business activities are connected with raising, producing or processing of goods. Industry create form utility of goods by bringing material into the form which is useful for intermediate consumption. Then we can classify the business activities into classified on the basis of size. There is three categories, that is size, ownership and function. Activities on the base of size, it is small scale as well as large scale. On the base of the size, business activities may be broadly grouped into two categories. One is small scale and another one is large scale. In small scale units, the capital requirement is very less, as well as the employer, that is the worker, employee, the number of workers are less, the productions are also less. So these are the things regarding the small scale. Here some examples are given. Examples: manufacturing textiles in handloom or powerloom. So if the textiles are manufactured in handloom or powerloom, this is called as small scale industries. Whereas large scale business means here large scale units require huge capital. Okay, they are invest more capital. The number of employees also here large. Okay, the production also in large scale. Here they said about some example: manufacturing textile in a large scale textile mill, that is Raymond's, Ramraj cotton, all those things comes under large scale unit. Okay, so there are two things. One is small scale, that is on the base of size we divided into two categories. One is small scale and another one is large scale. In small scale, the capital is less, the number of workers employed also less, the production also less. Whereas in case of large scale, the huge capital is necessary, the number of workers are large, as well as the production also large scale. Okay, next they said about activities on the base of ownership. On the base of ownership, we divide into private sector and public sector as well as joint sector. That is to three categories. What is the meaning of private sectors? Private sector is nothing but it is controlled by non-government person. That is the person who is other than government. Okay, an enterprise is said to be private enterprise where it is owned and managed and controlled by person other than government. Sole proprietorship, for example, sole proprietorship means single man person. Sundar Stationaries, partnership firm means Ramesh Brothers. So all those things comes under private enterprises. That is, it is controlled and managed by a person who is a non-government. Okay, other than the government. Okay, then public government, public enterprises. enterprise is said to be public enterprise where it is owned, managed and controlled by a government. Okay, private means it is not owned by government, whereas it is controlled and managed and owned by government means it is a public enterprises. Some public enterprises are PWD, that is Departmental Undertaking Public Works Department, and ONGC, Public Corporation, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. All those things comes under this public enterprises. Then we are going to see about the joint enterprises. Here the public as well as the private, that is the government as well as the private, both are owned and controlled by the business means, then in such a case we say this as joint enterprises. Enterprise is said to be joint enterprise where it is owned and managed and controlled by government and private entrepreneur. Example, Maruti Suzuki. Then activities on the basis of function, we divide it into two categories. One is industries and commerce. In industries is nothing but the place where the goods are produced. Industry includes all those business activities which are connected with raising, producing and processing of consumer goods. Example, bread, butter, cheese, shoes or capital goods like machinery. All those things are produced in the industries. Whereas commerce means it establishes a link between the producer and the consumer by way of distributing the goods in a smooth flow, that is goods, and maintain a smooth and uninterrupted flow of goods. Okay, so these are the things relating to the size of the business. Okay, next we are going to see about characteristics of business in afternoon section. So after watching this video, revise your monthly test portion, 2 marks, 3 marks as well as 5 marks. Okay, practice makes the man perfect. So revise it thoroughly in order to score more marks in the monthly test, students. Thank you.